Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your September 2022 general readings. We are looking at the first half of September from the 1st to the 15th, and this reading is for our crabs, the water sign of Cancer. Welcome everyone. Thanks for being here. I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for watching this or any of the videos on my YouTube channel, and for all of your likes, shares, and hitting that subscribe button, my gratitude as well. And for those of you who continue to reach out for personal readings, all appreciated. Okay, Cancer, this is for you for the first half of September 2022. That's if your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign is in Cancer. It's relevant if you're cross-watching for a Cancerian. It's a general reading, so as many of you know, it's always going to resonate a little bit differently for everyone in intensity and details. So watch all of your signs if you know them, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, because each one can bring in a little additional insight and perspective into your situation. And if you find that something does resonate with you enough that you'd like to maybe take a deeper look, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else. Personal readings do make great gifts. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also see that email address by clicking on the description link. I would love to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer quite a different array of readings of all different lengths and costs, so email me if you're interested. I do readings full-time as well. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent at scheduling people in as quickly as possible. So if that's something you're interested in, message me. Okay, Cancer, let's see what the first half of September looks like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams, clarifying with one of the Gilded Tarots. Okay, Cancer, we begin by taking a rest or feeling like you need to take a rest. We have the Four of Swords here. This is a card typically of taking a step back from some kind of challenge or conflict or work or some sort. It can represent feeling tired, worn out, exhausted, or recuperating from some kind of illness. Perhaps to seek out some insight, wisdom, a different perspective, but mainly just to rest. With the King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, showing up as a king, but it could be a female. For many of you, this is you because you're a water sign. Some of you, it might be another water sign that's relevant here. You're tired. That's quite clear. Let's keep pulling cards. Eight of Wands. Eight of Fire. One of the traditional travel cards. Some of you may be traveling. But this is about something moving forward with force. This can be communication. It can be travel. It can be it can be anything really. But the Eight of Wands is the Eight of Fire. Fire is what governs, the area of our life and things that we put action in. It can often traditionally relate to things with work or career, but fire is passion and desire, and it's always action-oriented, active, and forward-moving. So this is something moving forward quite powerfully, whether it's in the planning and the communication or conversations about it, or in actual physical traveling, which, again, I am picking up for some of you, with the Four of Wands, happy home, celebration, friends and family, or that anticipatory excitement that you get when you're preparing for some kind of celebration or a reunion or something like that with friends and family. It might be something formal like a wedding, something casual, or just getting together with friends and family. Some of you are definitely traveling, maybe in the second week of September, and that may be, the Eight of Wands and the Four of Wands together, this is something is moving forward quite powerfully in regards to the Four of Wands. It could be travel for an event that includes friends and family, something formal or something informal, planning for something, traveling for something, preparing for something that is happy in nature. There might be some unexpected blessings about this as well. And that may be what has some of you feeling so tired. Maybe it's all the effort that you have to put into preparing for this, preparing for travel plans, or preparing for a get-together, or a party, or a reunion, or something of that sort. It could be work or a work project as well, but it's something that It's something that involves friends and family, so it's likely not work. Although, if you're traveling, again, some of this exhaustion might be you got to do a whole bunch of work stuff with work in order to be able to do this thing. Next, we have the Eight of Swords, feeling a little trapped or held hostage, or, well, not literally held hostage, but the Eight of Swords represents mental self-limitations. It's limiting yourself with different ideas and perspectives or excuses or reasons. It can sometimes represent a victim mentality, but it really depends on how it's clarified or what it's with in the spread, because it represents feeling kind of held back in some way. Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs our intellectual landscape. So traditionally, on its own, this card can represent, oh, I can't do that because of this. I can't do that because of that. All the reasons or excuses that we give ourselves for why we can't free ourselves from a person, place, or situation, when in fact we really can. Sometimes it really does represent being held back by something. It could be by your own, you want to do something, but you can't because you don't think it's moral or ethical. Again, it kind of depends on the spread. But there's some sense of feeling hemmed in or bound to something with the Five of Wands, conflict. Petty conflict, drama, fighting about the same thing over and over again. This can represent internal conflict or external conflict or a combination of both. I think we'll need some clarifiers for this. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy and focus for the first half of September is the Lovers. Typically represents a relationship at a crossroads or a choice that is either about the relationship or a choice in another area of life that is going to affect a relationship that is quite connected. Could be a karmic, soulmate kind of energy, which does not necessarily mean that you're going to be with this person for the rest of your life. It's the lessons and the growth that we carry with us for the rest of our lives. That's the fundamental reason for twin flames or soulmates, but it doesn't always mean that person physically that we're together the rest of our lives, right? It's just the reason that we're together is what we carry with us. But it really just kind of depends. So relationship at a crossroads or some kind of choice or decision about a relationship. So let's clarify. Let's clarify that overall energy of the Lovers. I don't usually wear my hair pulled back for the videos. I know it's probably a bit of a different look, but it's hot here, so it's better for me to pull my hair back. The Lovers. We have the Hermit. This is wisdom, guidance, clarity. This is what the Hermit does. What all, monastics do. Hermits, monks, other monastic people, they withdraw either temporarily or for a longer period of time. Why do they do that? Because they're trying to seek out answers and wisdom and guidance through contemplative thought, and they need to remove themselves from the normal noise and minutia of day-to-day life in order to do that. So it looks like you're trying to really kind of figure out either what the best decision is in terms of a relationship, or perhaps a decision that you've already made about the relationship. It might be another individual. The Hermit, might represent a person that has kind of that age or wisdom and experience of the Hermit that may be advising you as well. The Eight of Coins, nose to the grindstone, hard at work, again, which kind of relates to the Four of Swords. There's a lot of work being put into something here. I pulled one more, the Nine of Swords, stress, fear, anxiety about an unknown future. How's something going to work out? But you have to be careful with the Nine of Swords. It's my least favorite tarot card in the entire deck because it represents an unhealthy amount of obsession and focus on something in a negative way. Like you're trying to figure out how something's going to play out in the future, and what you envision is almost always like the worst possible thing until it gets so built up in your head that what's in your head is actually not the reality of the situation. It doesn't mean that whatever your concerns are here aren't valid, but the Nine of Swords represents a tendency to dwell too much, too long, obsessively about something with negative energy. It feels like you're either trying to make a decision that's either about a primary relationship, or it's in another area of life that's going to really significantly impact this relationship. I think you're overthinking it in some ways, or thinking about it too much, or making it too complicated. And also, it may be that you've already made a decision. You're not sure if it's the right one, but you've kind of already made it, and it requires an awful lot of work. It's kind of it's a mixed bag 2-week period of time. There's some lovely energy here. There's obviously something that you're putting a lot of work into, or into being able to do to move forward, if it's not actual travel, which it is for some of you. And the decision to move forward with this thing has to do with the relationship, or something that affects the relationship. It looks like for some of you, this is a decision you're already making, and you're doing all the work that's required to push this thing forward, but it still feels like there's some doubt or second guessing here. Let's clarify that Four of Swords: rest, recovery, recuperation, taking a step back. Just maybe feeling kind of worn out. Clarify the Four of Swords. Goodness, the Eight of Swords again, feeling like you can't free yourself from something. The Lovers again. The High Priestess, very similar to the Hermit. I feel like some of you Cancers are in a relationship with someone that is a karmic relationship, meaning that there's a reason the two of you are together. It may not necessarily be to stay together for the rest of your lives, but there's learning and growth and value to the lessons that Spirit wants you to learn by being together, or by having been together on both sides. But it may be that you feel it feels like there's some bone of contention within this relationship, or the subject matter that you're making a decision about and how it affects the relationship. Because something affects a relationship here. It feels like somebody has to put an awful lot of work into either this relationship or into being with you. Maybe maybe it's a long distance relationship for some of you, and there's always lots of travel, and maybe you're the one that's almost always putting all the work and effort into like traveling to be with this person. And it feels like your emotions have you tied to this person, and unless you end it, you just keep getting pulled back into the same cycle. That's got to be specific for somebody out there. Let's clarify the Eight of Wands: fast movement forward, communication, travel. The King of Cups, the Six of Cups. It's interesting too, we have the King of Cups twice here, so it's definitely you. The Four of Wands is, home, friends, family, celebratory events, anticipation of those things. Six of Cups is a card strongly associated with history, things you have a history with, a historical connection, friends, family, roots of origin, where you come from, people you have historical connections with, old friends, old lovers, or just, this is about returning to something familiar. It's travel, I'm getting, for a lot of you. Whether it's domestic, international, it's traveling to be with, to reunite, to be with friends, to be with family, to be with, again, for some of you who are in a long distance relationship, or a relationship that for some reason has long periods of physical distance between you. It's returning. Clarify Four of Wands. Queen of Cups. Okay, well, we already know there was a relationship that was either central or being affected here. We do have a couple here, the King and Queen of Cups both. So A natural match. Ace of Cups and Eight of Wands again. Emotional renewal. The Ace of Cups can sometimes represent new love and romance, but there's already a connection here, and you're already returning back to something familiar, or getting together, reuniting with friends, family, a lover, your person, maybe a combination of all of those things. So the Ace of Cups for many of you is likely kind of coming together again, the heart kind of opening up again, and then the Eight of Wands, of course, things are moving forward. But then we have this Eight of Swords and Five of Wands. There's conflict about feeling tied to something. And again, if it feels like in some ways you feel like you don't have a choice. We always do, right? When we say that, it's because we feel our emotions are connecting us or something of that sort. Like, I don't have a choice if I want to keep this relationship going. I don't have a choice except to put all this effort into whatever it is that is either about the relationship or something that's going to affect the relationship. So I don't have a choice. We do. But the choice is, when we say that, it's because the alternative or the other choice is one that we don't often want to look at, like if this is the way it's going to be and I want to be with this person or I want to move this thing forward, then I have to do this, and I have to do all this planning, and I have to be putting all this work into it. Well, you don't have to, but the alternative is to make a choice to detach yourself completely. Yeah, it feels like this is a cycle, and you just keep having to put all this effort and energy into, but as you move forward over time, but it doesn't really change you're not getting anything more out of it, right? For example, for long-distance relationships, most long-distance relationships have some kind of, especially when they're younger, the idea is to, at some point, you're working towards being able to be together permanently, to live together, to have a home, a life, a family, whatever, together. There's usually that end goal, and you're kind of working towards that. Here, it's like maybe one of you wants that. I mean, it feels like a committed relationship. There's no lack of love and caring or desire, but it's like somebody here is putting the effort constantly into this relationship, but there's no end in sight, right? Meaning the end of what you want for this relationship, what you want it to culminate in. So let's clarify this Eight of Swords, Five of Wands. And for some of you, it might be that one person has to constantly put all this work and effort into work or career. Maybe they travel a lot, or maybe it's you, maybe it's the other person, and it's supposed to be for this idea that one day, or you're working towards whatever, but it seems like that whatever never really manifests, and it's causing conflict. Clarify Eight of Swords, Five of Wands. I keep seeing this Knight of Swords for some reason, so this may involve like a conversation that happens around mid-month or even in the last half of September about, I love the coming together, but it's just, all this work to do it, and then I always have to leave and go back alone, and it's so hard, and why do I have to keep doing this, Ten of Cups and Three of Cups. Ten of Cups, happy home, family, marriage. Three of Cups, social energy, partying, being together, reuniting, having a good time. This is what you're feeling trapped by, in the sense that if you want this with this person, all of this effort, or if they want it with you, somebody's putting in an awful effort over and over and over again, but it never seems to change it. It never seems to get to a place where you just have this steady life together. Or the person just, keeps saying, oh, I'm just doing this for this period of time for my career so that, but again, whatever the goal is, it never seems to be manifesting here. Give me another couple cards. Yeah, the Ten of Wands. Somebody is at the end of their rope, feeling overwhelmed. It's like, I need to stop doing this. It's too exhausting. It's too hard. There's no real reason for it. There's too much uncertainty here. But there is this strong, you've got the Lover's card twice, this really strong connection. So you're like, I don't want to leave this person because, they work so much, but I mean, it's always a choice, right? But I think here, Cancer, what you're feeling, in a sense, in a way, trapped by, or feeling like you're held hostages by your own emotions, your own connection to this person, your own history here. It's a challenging place to be. I mean, I don't see any relationship breakups here, but it feels kind of like that. Okay, fish are cut bait because I'm tired. That's kind of what it looks like. So let's pull any final advice or guidance cards for Cancer for the first half of September. Seven of Wands, so stand your ground. Don't overcompromise yourself. Whatever it is that you're kind of standing up for, believing in, don't back down from that. This is not an aggressive card, though. It is a defensive card. So it's not like starting any fights. It's just not allowing people to cross your boundaries. The Four of Swords, yeah. Try to, during this 2-week period of time, even though if you have a lot of planning to do, like for a trip, for those of you who are traveling and stuff, you have to do what you have to do. But try and section it out. Yeah, Knight of Coins, step by step, my steady Eddie. Try to section it out, okay, give yourself, make a list of all the tasks you need to do, but split them up kind of evenly throughout the days so that you don't feel overwhelmed all at once. Yeah, Temperance, neither too much of one nor too much of the other. Try not to overwork yourself at any particular time. This is also in regards to emotions, because what I am seeing here is the potential for arguing over the same thing over and over again. And again, you have your boundaries. If something needs to be discussed, it needs to be discussed. But Temperance would be about not screaming and yelling, and it's a balanced, temperate energy. You speak your mind, they speak yours, you guys listen to each other, etc. This is not overdoing it, okay, during this period of time. Okay. Cancer, those are your messages for the first half of September. I hope you found them useful, or they gave you something to think about, some food for thought. Again, if any of this resonates for you enough that you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, maybe take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking on the description link with this video. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the September mid-month readings. Until then, stay safe and well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.